Hey, Alex, can you hear me? Venting. What does that mean? Loud and clear. Lovely, lovely. We'll wait for a few more people to hop in. Maybe if you haven't already, you can drop a little message into the group chat letting people know that we're here. But it seems like everybody's already coming in. So, welcome, Rabani. Welcome, Aisha. Um, Good to have you here. And glad that you're on time. You made it. Um, we will start off this live as we usually do with some of the biggest wins that people have had this week. So let's get the energy up. Um, Share with me your wins. Alex, predictive live text was supposed to be evening. Oh, okay, evening. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, let's get the chat going. Tell me what's been some of your biggest wins this week. I know that everybody's been doing some growth work, whether it's internal or external. I've seen people actually putting in that work to move the needle forwards for themselves personally, and I'm loving it. So share with the family. What are your biggest wins? For Alex, 100% the seminar with James. What I tell you guys, I was like, Daryl, James, these coaches that we've got on board are ridiculous in terms of the level that they are and what they're able to do, but also in how inexpensive they are willing to go and help the rest of the community. I think James charged something like £20 for per person, where I know with his rates that it's usually 10 times more than that to spend a bit of time with James for the amount of time that he gave. But because we're friends and he's a nice guy, I was able to, sweeten the deal so you guys could get a ton of value by being in the community. And these are some of the perks that we have by, being a part of SBE, Fearless Families. You'll be able to leverage my personal network of incredible human beings. So, welcome, Rebecca. Good to have you here on the call as well, as always. Um, Let me know, everybody else, what's been some of your biggest wins for this week. Alex is saying, so much value, 100% worth it. Yeah, my life really started to change when I came into the presence of people who could coach the way that James is able to, because James is accredited by the coaching masters who are responsible for, creating some of the best coaches in the world. So, yeah, really, really valuable stuff. Um, but let's see if we've got any more comments coming in. What's been some of the biggest wins for people this week? Even if it's not been a big one, celebrate the small wins as well. Because if you don't celebrate the small wins, then you're always waiting for this huge mountain to climb, this huge win that you most likely won't be able to even get to, because that level of energy that requires to get there is that you must be feeling as though you are successful throughout the journey. So if you believe that you're failing just because you haven't had your first sale, or because you haven't generated as many leads as the next person, or you're only a certain rank in the business, then you are literally depriving yourself of the um, the blessing of being able to be successful here in this present moment, which is absolutely necessary for you to go and attract in those bigger goals for yourself. So right now, no matter how big, small your win is for the week, drop it into the group chat and I want to hear it. What is your biggest wins? Yasmin, welcome. Welcome to the call. Good to have you here. Leanne, what's some of your wins as well? Good to have you here. guys who have joined. We share not our joins, but our wins. Exactly. Listen to Big Brother Alex. Time to be sharing wins right now. And once we've gone into the wins, then we can potentially go into some of the amazing updates that we have for this week, which is going to be well worth the wait when I actually pull out some of the stuff that I've been sitting on over the last couple of days. So yeah, let's hear it in the comments. Let's get this thing going. What's some of the biggest wins that we've got for this week, guys? Yasmin? James's seminar, definitely a highlight of the week. Seeing friends I haven't seen for 10 years and reconnecting was a big win for this week with me, and started journaling. Amazing. I'm really glad that you have implemented some of the things that I was coaching and teaching you on, which is incredible. Like, everything changed for me when I started to become a lot more self-aware. That journaling is one of the catalysts to you becoming a lot more self-aware. So well done to you. Well done for jumping on James's seminar. And yeah, well done for seeing your friends. Leanne, I got to work without being blown away today. Yeah, I'm guessing that back in Yorkshire, things are not too great in terms of the weather. So well done. Good win. And congratulations for getting into work without being blown away. Rebecca, keeping up with my 30 days challenge sugar-free. That's amazing. Really hard thing to do. Like, I've done that myself in the past, to stay away from sugar completely. I'm not sure if you're staying away from fruits and things like that as well, but yeah, staying away from at least the processed sugars is something that's highly beneficial, but can be very difficult, especially if you're addicted to those substances. And what I've noticed about, going on a personal growth journey is that the more that you're able to give up those things that you have as addictions, then the more that you're able to truly become free as a person, which is ultimately what we're all seeking, truly. Everyone says we want financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom, and it's very true. But really what we want is we want to have that highest level of freedom where we're able to say no to the things that our flesh desires. So yeah, really well done to you, Rebecca, for staying so disciplined and consistent in that particular challenge. Yasmin saying, oh yes, I'm trying to balance my time according to your 25% method so I can get into the flow state. Amazing. And I'm really glad that you brought that up as well, because I really do feel like I've been in my personal flow state this week for a good amount of time, and it's really starting to show as the ball's rolling a lot more again, and I'm gaining that momentum. So if you haven't already watched the video that Yasmin's referring to, then you need to go to my YouTube channel, guys. I haven't posted every single time that I put out a new video into our personal group chat. Sometimes I posted it in the school, but literally this week, 4 new videos I put out on YouTube. They're all like 10-15 minutes long, and tons of value in there. Like that video that Yasmin is referring to about where you spend your time and spending 25% in 4 different areas, that was probably one of the most valuable lessons that I've ever learned in my life, period. And it took me years to find the connection to the person who was able to introduce me to that concept. You guys are finding out about this literally within a few weeks, months of starting your businesses. So leverage that time, leverage that experience so that you don't have to go and repeat the same mistakes that I had to, and go and watch those videos. That one especially, but the rest of them are really great as well. And everything changes when you go into that flow state. In one of my videos, I was actually talking about how last year in 2024, one of the biggest lessons that I personally learned was the lesson that it's not really so much about what I'm doing, but the state of what I'm doing it in. So if I'm doing something and I'm doing it in a flow state, which is that highest state that a person can be in, right? That's that state of where time starts to distort itself and things just feel completely effortless. It's almost as if you're actually tuning in to a higher energy and frequency that is allowing you to use cheat codes that will make success in your life here in this present moment a done deal. And I was speaking about this actually with Ben just before this call, about how scientists right now are confirming that the universe that we currently live in is not just a singular universe with a linear time frame. Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit of the scientific woo-woo type of stuff, which is, by the way, every single successful person that I've met doesn't just believe in this stuff, but they practice and know this stuff. They know that it all works. You can check it all out, right? And so if you've looked into people like Joe Dispenza, if you haven't, I'd highly recommend, right? Go and watch some of his content, his videos, so that you understand these simple principles when it comes to being able to create the success within your reality in a way where you are not having to use physical means to be able to do it, but actually operating from more so the non-physical. Okay, so what me and Ben were speaking about is how the world that we live in as we know it is not what it is. What the scientists are actually more so showing to us is that we live in a multi-dimensional reality where we have not just the time which is linear in hours and minutes and things like that, but there are literally lots of different universes happening all at once. So if anybody's seen movies like Spider-Man, the cartoon version, the multiverse one, Doctor Strange, if you've seen as well, there is the movie called something like Everywhere All at Once. It's like a Chinese person. And we're seeing now movies where they're showing multiverses as if it's just a normal thing. The same way where back 20, 30 years ago, when they started showing movies back then, you saw movies like iRobot, you saw movies like Terminator, and you saw these movies where robots were coming in and taking over the world. Now look at the age that we're in right now. I was saying to Ben, there is not a single day where I don't use algorithms, where I don't use AI to help me with my performance in business. Not a single day. Every one of you who's generated leads through this business with ads, the reason for why you're able to do it passively without needing to go out and actively take action to go and get those connections is because of AI and algorithms. So hear me on this loud and clear, because if you get this, you are going to be way ahead of the curve. Way ahead. Because there are people playing this game by certain rules. And if you understand the game that's actually at play, then you are going to make sure that you're not going to be operating from a similar strategy as everybody else. Your strategy is going to help you to win the game because you know the actual rules at play. Like I don't think you guys are paying enough attention to what I'm about to drop on you right now. Drop a 3 in the chat right now if you're actually paying attention. You got your notepads and pens at the ready, and you're ready to hear the absolute bombs that I'm going to drop on you when it comes to understanding how you're going to be able to take quantum leaps in your success. Right on time. Ben's just joined us as well. I was just talking about you and our conversation, Ben. So this is all your fault why I'm going onto this sidetrack. Thank you. Leanne's got the 3s. Alex has got the 3s. Yasmin's got the 3s. Perfect. Okay. So stick with me because, as I was saying, the transition in business has been from going old school without any technology to the school that we're in right now, which is just normal. It's just normal to be generating leads with ads. It's just normal to be generating leads with algorithms. It's just normal to be using ChatGPT every single day. It's just normal. And when it's normal, it's already too late. Because when it's normal, then the masses have already adopted it. And this is one of the reasons for why Daryl came out on that previous call and said to you guys have won. Like, you've won the game because you're way ahead of the curve. When it comes to technology, health technology is not even really spoken about right now. Because health is one of those things in a person's life that they don't really consider to be that important until certain levels of Maslow hierarchy are actually taken care of. One of those basic levels is survival. So after survival, then you've got things like shelter, which is why people go into looking for houses and things like this. And it's a higher level of Maslow's hierarchy where health comes in. And health technology is really at the beginning stages. If you think about how much technology do you have in your households currently, apart from the Kangen machines that are used by the masses of people to help with our health, it's minuscule. Like, I really don't know that many things that people buy that actually help them with their health, which is one of the things that truly people value a lot, especially when it comes to the later years of their life. Okay? So with the health side of things, you guys are at the forefront because nobody in the world is really buying health technology yet, because there's a sequence of how things have got to happen. So hear me on this. With technology that's being used in business to sustain people's survival, this is something that if you're just starting to use right now, you're not really ahead of the curve, because it has come in from many, many years in the West especially, and is being adopted in lots of different businesses everywhere across the world. Like Facebook is already one of the number one companies in the world, because they charge the customers who are the advertisers to advertise on their platform. So we're not really that early when it comes to advertising and things like that. Okay. One thing that I'm going to mention towards the end of the call is something that we're going to be one of the first people in the world to experience this level of technology. So this is something that's really exciting that I'm going to share as well. So make sure you stick around to the end of the call. But in reference to being early and making sure that you're actually doing things which are going to set you ahead of the curve, one of those things that has blown me away personally, that actually works, that is we have access to right now to use, is this understanding of what the scientific principles are showing us that actually more so confirm technology from the past. Okay, so one thing that you got to appreciate and understand as well, like this is like, I'm going really deep into certain subjects today. Who's liking this? I'm going really deep into certain subjects today. So with technologies, a lot of us seem to think that these technologies, we are the first human beings to ever experience these types of technologies in the world, which is not actually the truth, because there are prior civilizations that have been on this earth to have experienced technologies that we're using right now, and it was just normal for them. For example, I'm going really deep into this stuff right now. You guys are loving it. I'm loving it. Tasha's loving it. Yasmin's loving it. Wait till you hear what I'm about to say. There is so much evidence and proof in the world when you go and start traveling like I do, and you see these huge sculptures and buildings and things like that that were built from history, for example, the pyramids and things like that, and we're asking ourselves, how is it that they were able to build what they built? If you really want to go deep into this subject, I'd highly recommend checking out some of a YouTuber called Billy Carson's content. Okay, Billy Carson, and he fully breaks all this down and teaches where you can go to the source of the information and understand exactly where all these principles have come from. And so back then, things like traveling through space and time was normal, as well as having communication that they could have from country to country was normal. But the way that the education system seems to program us is in thinking that we are the most developed civilization that has ever lived, and it's just not true. So when you look at things like scriptures that give you traditional wisdom, and we sometimes seem to ignore these things like the Bible, things like the Quran, right? Things like scrolls. We tend to ignore these things because we're thinking, oh, they're outdated or whatever. But what if these scriptures weren't necessarily the past, but they were the future? What if you changed the frame and you weren't actually getting a window into something that was outdated, but that was the latest version? It's just that we're catching back up to it because we destroyed ourselves. So some of the things that they teach, and when I started to really delve into the science of things like manifestation, everything changed for me in terms of my results in business and success. Everything changed. And these things have been proven and tested. All the codes are in things like the Bible. There's another guy who I'd highly recommend, checking out some of his content from. He's a guy from Enagic in the US. And he was one of the ones that helped me to confirm that what we were doing with the done for you was something that we should continue doing, because he was also doing a bit of a done for you Enagic system. The difference with his is that they were doing organic marketing. We're using paid advertisements. So they're still like a little bit in the past in what they're doing. But what I love about some of the things that he teaches is how the Bible is like literally a cheat code, where it gives you everything in there that will help you get what you want in your life as long as you apply what it teaches. And so this was used as a practical handbook back however many thousands of years ago for people to move and navigate themselves in our current universe. Okay? So going back to what I was saying about the idea of us moving through this time where 20, 30 years ago, iRobot, Terminator, these robotic movies were seen as something for the future, and now we're living in that reality and it's normal. Tesla bringing out robots that look just like the ones from iRobot, and everyone's like, yeah, I expected that to come because it's normal. What you want to be thinking about is what's going to be that thing in the next 20, 30 years. And that thing that I'm seeing is this usage of understanding how the multiverse works, things like string theory. Okay? So when you have that understanding, what you're able to do is actually communicate and also almost tune in to different versions of you from a different universe. So imagine right now, everything that you want in your life is already here right now in this present moment. And the only reason that you are currently not experiencing everything that you want in this present moment is because you haven't changed your frequency and tuned in to that reality. So you are currently feeling like you're stuck, but you can actually navigate to a different one of these multiverses that exist, one of these universes, and you can start living that lifestyle right now. The only thing that is actually stopping you is the fact that you have been almost like, if you think about a thermostat. The way that a thermostat works is that it's set at a particular temperature for the room. So since you were a young child, because of the influence that your parents, teachers, and environment had around you, you had a thermostat that was set at a certain temperature that kept you thinking, feeling, and behaving at a level where you were no longer a threat to competition. Why do you think slavery worked? One of the reasons for why it was so effective is because they were mentally making people believe that they didn't have that creative power within them to have what they want in their life. the world that we live in right now, it's not as if slavery has been abolished. It's just evolved. It's a better version of slavery. If you're going to truly imprison people to work for you for the rest of your life, wouldn't it be so much better if people didn't actually know that they were even enchained and enslaved? How much better of a system would that be? Because if you can see the chains on your wrists, you're going to want to rip them apart. But if you can't actually see the chains that are in your mind, in your heart, and in these areas which are unseen, you won't even know to rip them apart. And you'll doubt that there's even something that is worthy of breaking free from. Is this making sense? Drop some ones in the chat if this is making sense, guys. Are you starting to realize like the actual game that's at play here? We've got some fires coming into the chat. Yasmin saying the scriptures were sent to be used as practical guides, not as mantelpieces. Precisely. Precisely. Alex is dropping the ones. We've still got the engagement. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay. So going back to what I was saying about the idea of these chains. Oh, Leanne's saying I was chained to my desk. Yeah, well, you're actually chained inside, mentally chained and imprisoned. So you've got this thermostat right now that is set at a certain level, and that temperature, okay, rather than looking at it as though it is in terms of heat or how cold you are, more so look at it like, what is the level of energy that you are operating from? That's how you want to view it. You see, everyone else benefits apart from you, or not everyone else, but there are certain powers that benefit apart from you operating at a lower level of energy. There are levels of energy that you can literally search on Google, because all the information is out there. We have access to more information right now than the President of the United States did 30, 40 years ago. It's just that with these tools that we have access to, we don't know how to use it. We don't really know what to do. There are some people who are using ChatGPT to pass exams. Like what? You have the most powerful AI tool in front of you and you're using it to pass an exam? To get a job? It makes no sense. Why not use it to go and build your dreams? Why not use it to help clear your energy or whatever it is you want to do? Leanne, I need help on how to change my energy field. Honestly, it's really simple. I'm very good with being able to do that, and I can dive into a little bit of it today, but we'll have to explore that on another call a little bit a deeper way. Because one of the things that I'm going to be helping every single person here in SPE that's willing to go with me on this journey is to truly make you become these masters of energy. And this is one of the things that I've noticed people decide to follow me for, or they gravitate towards me for, is because they're like, there's just something about your energy. Well, it's crazy. Like sometimes even when I'm out and about, people will just literally gravitate towards me because there's something about my energy that's emitting a field. And I give you the lowdown when it comes to understanding law of attraction. If anybody's heard of law of attraction, the way that it works is that your thoughts are electrical. And so your thoughts are sending out a signal into the field that you can't actually see. But these thoughts are going out, you're pushing them out. And then you also have your heart, which is magnetic. So your heart is the attractor. And if you want to be able to change what is coming towards you, then you have to change both the intention that's coming from your thoughts. That's what you consciously will do. And you have to change what is in your heart. So it's the conscious and it's the subconscious. 95% of the time, we're actually operating from our subconscious, not our conscious minds. 5% of the time, we're operating from our conscious minds. So which one is going to be more important to focus on? It's going to be on rewiring your subconscious mind. And your subconscious is responsible for three things. You want to write these down. I'm giving you so much game in this live. It's crazy. I was just going to give you some updates on the business. I'm just going to give you game instead. 3 things of the subconscious. Number 1, it's your emotions. That's energy in motion. So what you were saying, Leanne, about changing your energy field, really you're talking about rewiring your subconscious. Energy in motion. Number 2 is your beliefs. What are beliefs? Beliefs are thoughts that you think habitually. That's it. Thoughts that you think habitually. And the thing about a belief is that it's not actually a fact. There's a difference between what is true and what is the truth. So with a belief, it can be changed. It can be altered because it's simply an opinion. It's not actually hard truth and facts. And then the third thing about the subconscious is that you have the memories. This is the story that we're telling ourselves, either about the future or about the past. Yasmin saying that I'm Zen. Yeah, people say that I'm Zen as well. So going into, again, what I was talking about in terms of the story that I'm seeing about the future and why every single person here in this chat right now needs to be super grateful in this moment. Like truly. Gratitude is one of the highest levels of energy. So what you were saying, Leanne, before about needing help on changing my energy field, the best thing that you can do, Leanne, from this day, like right now, don't even wait for it, don't procrastinate, do it right now, like here on this call. Gratitude. Gratitude is the key to being able to increase your level of energy. If you're thinking to yourself, what have I actually done to change my energy? Is I've taken gratitude seriously. That's the difference. I've taken gratitude seriously. Because if you knew what gratitude would do for you in your life, you would take it seriously as well. What if, by simply being grateful, everything that you're thinking about attracting into your life comes to you instantly like that? There are moments where in this business, and I've said it before on onboarding calls, and when I'm setting expectations with people, I say to people, expect in your business that you will have slumps and you will have explosions until your business becomes consistent. Why? Because you are inconsistent. You are inconsistent with your energy, you're inconsistent with your gratitude, you're inconsistent with how you're being. And it's not just you, but it's also the salespeople. Like, don't think I'm just putting this all on the individual, but it's like all of us have a part to play. So expect the slumps, expect the explosions, which is exactly what happened in my business. I had many times where there was months I didn't get a single sale. Months I didn't get a single lead. Months. And then I had an explosion. In a single weekend, broke a record. In a single weekend, got like 4 team members. In a single weekend, everything shifted, made tens of thousands of pounds. In a single weekend. It's what we call the power of one. Balaj has a really beautiful podcast on this that I'd highly recommend everybody watches as well at some point. It's called The Power of One. And it's this idea that all it takes is one. One yes. One sale. One team member. What if the next sale that you get by next week is a me? Imagine if I came into your business right now, I had like 5 years sales experience, I had 5 years of doing advertisements, I absolutely fully believed in Enagic, I'd done all the inner work, I was confident at speaking, I was ready to go all in. What if I walked into your business tomorrow? What would happen then? How would things change? You could literally get to 6A weeks, because you wouldn't just have one of me, you'd have 2 of me because you already got me. What if you got another Daryl? What if you got a Nate? What if you got a Balaj? You don't know who you're going to introduce into your life. And one of those things that you can do to improve the likelihood that somebody like that is going to walk into your business is by doing the energy work, the gratitudes, and things like this. We can give you thousands of leads, but the quality of the people that will come and connect with you is a lot dependent on the energy that you're putting out into the field. I know for Ben, he's been doing a lot of energy work, and I was saying to him earlier on today, I think he got 2 of the best team members in SBE. I know for Josie, in the beginning she was doing a lot of the energy work, and she got some of the best results in SBE, best team members. So right now, what I'm basically saying, again, going back to the actual topic of conversation, I'm going into my sidetracking from here and there. Some people, they don't like the sidetracks. They don't like the flow that I get into on calls. They're like, can't he just stick to a presentation and do structure? Let me know in the chat. Do we prefer the rants, the flow, or do you like the presentations where I just go through some numbers and stuff like that? Let's see. What preference do we have in the call? Is it? Do you prefer these type of calls, or more so the presentations with numbers and statistics and things like this? Whilst I'm getting the answers from you guys, I'm going to go back to the actual topic. Yasmin saying, stay in the flow. Thank you. Okay, cool. At least I know I'm on the right track. So, iRobot. 20, 30 years ago, we were watching iRobot movies and thinking this is never going to happen in our life. We're never going to really actually see robots working for us, being by our sides, and things like this. Now, it's normal. 20, 30 years from now, these movies where you see people operating in a multiverse and it just like being something that is normal and people tuning into different realities to make it their reality right there and then to help them as a tool, normal. That's what's going to be the case. So what you want to be doing is you want to be on the precipice of this, where you're not necessarily waiting for it to be normal for you to experience it. Because the same way where right now the masses have gained access to ChatGPT, think about it like this. Do you really think that at the same time that it was released to the masses, that that's when it was invented? Do you really think that that's probably how things went down? Or do you think that there's potentially been access to the algorithms and AI and things like this for quite a bit of time? Because look how developed they've come out like straight away. Right? So same thing when it comes to being able to manifest at will. This was a practice commonly used hundreds if not thousands of years ago. And what society has done a great job of doing is making it appear as if these things don't work. Why? Because the kind of things that they put there in terms of the media makes it look as though it's something that just doesn't make any sense. So things like watching the movie The Secret, if anybody hasn't watched that yet, I'd recommend it because that kind of opens the door to what I'm referring to right now. But even in the movie The Secret, it's one of the most demonized movies out there because the way that it was edited is in a way where it doesn't actually teach the practices, and people think that just by thinking positive that you're going to be able to master what I'm describing. But there is a skill that you have to develop in order to master the art of manifestation. There's a skill in being able to do it. So, yeah, right now, in terms of where we're at, we all can definitely be super ahead of the curve by focusing on this particular area more than anything. And the first thing that we got to do to be able to get good at this practice, and again, if there's any confirmation that you would want in what I'm saying, don't just take my word for it. Like what I really like to do with people is direct them to the source, okay? So one of the sources that you can go to is take a look at just what any successful person has written about becoming rich, becoming wealthy, whether it's Robert Kiyosaki, whether it's the author of The Science of Getting Rich, which is not the art of getting rich, it is the science of getting rich. I read that book about 30 times in 1 month. It's only about, like 20 pages or something like that, but I had to ingrain it into my subconscious because it's through that repetition that you can rewire and change the subconscious mind. And so The Science of Getting Rich has a whole chapter, not a page, not a sentence, but a chapter on gratitude. A whole chapter. Why would a book on about how to get rich and wealthy have a whole chapter on gratitude when there's only about 5-6 chapters in the book? Why would it do that? Because the success is actually in the simplicity. We'd be overcomplicating it too much. Think about it. If you wanted to make it appear as though it was impossible to succeed, what would you do? You would make it seem complex instead of simple. Success is simple. One of the foundations is gratitude. How do I talk about gratitude? One of the quotes from a guy called, what's his name again? Zig Ziglar. He says that it is not your aptitude, but it is your attitude that will determine your altitude. How high you go is dependent on your attitude. And what is the best attitude that you can possibly have? Who has the best attitude? Who has the best attitude is the Supreme. What do we describe the Supreme as being? We describe the Supreme as being God. That's what it has been for centuries. That's what we can all kind of say and agree upon. Even scientists right now say that they have a belief in something out there, the divine, whatever. It's a supreme being. Now here's the real secret. When I said out there, the supreme being, that's not really accurate. It's not really true. Because that supreme being is not really out there. That supreme being is right here, inside of each and every one of you. This game that we're playing right now is about reconnecting to the highest versions of who we were when we first came into this earth. That's what this game is about. The God is not outside of you. It is within you, internally. Who has that best attitude? It is God. What is gratitude? Gratitude, it's God's real attitude. Not that fake attitude that comes out and be complaining all the time. This is one of the things that I despise about the UK, truthfully. It's the complaining culture. Absolutely hate it. It keeps people stuck. It keeps people in poverty. It works in being able to do that, but it doesn't work in helping people to become wealthy. Hate it. Despise the complaining attitude. But God's real attitude is what will actually help you to become wealthy where there is opportunity. Places around the rest of the world, they have a lot more gratitude. But what they don't have is opportunity. And what we have to do when we have opportunity is we have to bring these secrets, which aren't really secrets, but it's traditional wisdom. We bring that, which is proven concepts, to these opportunities, and this is how we truly thrive. Another great, I'm giving you so many good movies and books and things like that to be watching, as well as The Secret. Another great one to watch, you can just get this on YouTube, by the way. It's called Thrive. Check that out. That will change completely how you see the world. Thrive. It's not about surviving. It's about thriving in this world. Simple concept. And a very scientific documentary that breaks it all down. Got to watch it. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. So yeah, got a lot of recommendations, a lot for you guys to be chewing on, and gratitude. If you knew what gratitude could do for you, you would take it so freaking serious. What do I mean by what does it look like when somebody takes something serious? Do I mean that they're gonna approach it with a serious type of attitude? Because that's not really gratitude. It's not. They don't come hand in hand. But what it really means is that you become disciplined in your gratitude. Every single day, you look to not only complete your gratitude, but you look to improve on it. Kaizen. One of the foundational values that I had for SPE, the first one that these guys asked me about, and they said, what does the number one value have to be? I said, mastery. Why mastery? Because money follows mastery. Money follows mastery. What do you have to master? Gratitude. Master gratitude. Going through the levels of competence when it comes to gratitude, you start at what's called unconscious incompetence. You don't even know what you don't know. You don't know how bad you are at gratitude. You think that typing into a group chat, saying what you're grateful for, thinking what you're grateful for, things like that, that's enough. But it isn't. Hate to break it to you. It's not going to get you the results. What actually gets you the results when you're coming from a place of gratitude is not about what you think, it's about what you feel. You want to feel so grateful that your body is revealing to you how grateful you feel. Anyone catch that? Your body is revealing to you how grateful that you feel. Now think about it like this. You know that you're excited when you start jumping up and down. You know that you're excited when you start jumping up and down. You know that you're angry when you start punching people or walls and throwing shit around. You know you're angry because your body is communicating that to you. How do you know that you're grateful? What does your body say to you so that you know that you're grateful? Anyone in the comments want to share? Have you ever been so grateful that your body has communicated it to you? Let me know in the comments. What does that look like? If gratitude was to be in the room with you right now, as a person, what would it be doing? Have I got a mic to drop? I actually do have a mic. I do have a mic, actually, yeah. So I'll drop it at the end. Aisha, just move. You might have to expand on that one. What does gratitude really look like? What does the body do to show you that it's grateful? Any ideas? Glows. Okay. Could potentially glow. That is actually one of the things that, again, like Leanne, going back to your comment about changing your energy field, I remember when I surrounded myself with some of the most successful millionaires and billionaires that I ever met. And, one of the things about them that were the ones that had like the actual success that I wanted, where they clearly were fulfilled and happy in their life and had that balance. One of the things that I noticed commonly about all of them was their aura that they had. Like it was almost like my eyes could physically see the energy field around them because it was that present and visible. And that field was the production of what happens when you change your attitude to an attitude of true gratitude. Rebecca is saying being grateful and thankful for little things. But the question is, how does your body actually communicate that to you? Tasha is saying, I get full body tingles emanating from my heart, like literally buzzing. Yes. 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 The body starts to tingle. When I enter this peak state of gratitude, my body cannot contain itself. It will start shaking. Because there is that much energy flowing through my body. And the natural thing that you actually will do when you feel like this crazy level of gratitude, the best way I can describe it, it's like, has anybody ever seen things like Dragon Ball Z? I think most people will have been around during that time. Dragon Ball Z, and you see when Goku transforms into his like higher version of himself, he goes crazy and just has to unleash this next level of energy that is flowing through his body. It's like, imagine if you got to experience the energy of the divine through your body. This is what happens. Super Saiyan. There you go. That's what I was looking for. That's the mode. That's the mode. Now, why is it so important to do this? Because a lot of people think that the price for success is just money. They think that the price for success is just time. It's not just money. It's not just time. These are physical things. If you want success, which is also non-physical, then what you need to do is you need to pay upfront and in full with something non-physical. And that price for your success is gratitude. Think about it. You're expecting something where you get to experience gratitude because you want money. You want to experience somebody giving you more money for not doing anything. This is what we all want. That's why we're here. That's why we're in a done-for-you business. So if you want that as your experience, you need to experience it right now. Like you've already won. What are you waiting for? Why are you waiting for the money to feel gratitude? Really ask yourself that question. Because the more gratitude that you feel right now in this moment, the more that it's all going to magnetize towards you effortlessly. Effortlessly. Rebecca's saying, with excitement, can't stop smiling, can't keep still. Now think about this. I remember one of the most game-changing things that I learned in self-development and personal growth was when I learned that I can tap into any state that I want consciously without the need for anything external, because I have enough resources internally to manifest that state. And so the first stage of manifestation is not about manifesting something physically, but manifesting something non-physically, manifesting a feeling within. Now, how do we do this is the question. What's the process? And it's really simple. All you've got to do is you've got to change your focus. Change your focus. Now, who knows what focus is? If we were to actually look at the acronym for focus, it's simple. It's FOCUS. Follow one course until successful. Follow one course until successful. Now, the problem with a lot of people is that their focus is in the wrong direction. And remember, Energy goes wherever focus flows. Or, let me say that again. Energy flows wherever focus goes. So again, Leanne, you're talking about you need to be able to change your energy at will. Don't think about changing your energy. Think about changing your focus. What are you focused on right now? Now, there's a few different things that people can be focused on. Number one thing that a person can be focused on is what time frame are you focused on? Are you focused on the past? Are you focused on the present? Or are you focused on the future? Write down in the chat right now. What are you focused on more times than often? Is it the past? Is it the present? Or is it the future? What is your focus on currently? Drop it in the chat. Tasha's saying believing is seeing. Yes, 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 yes. Believing is seeing. Future. Interesting. Yasmin saying future. Leanne saying future. We got a lot of visionaries in the house. Aisha's saying future. Tasha's saying present. Rebecca's saying future. Really interesting. Really interesting. Ben saying future, but the present is the place to be. Yes. Alex is saying now. Jonathan saying present and future. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Nobody's in the past. Nobody's in the past. Well, I think you're all a bunch of liars. I ain't gonna lie. I think everybody's really, on a day-to-day basis, I think what's happening is that we're consciously trying to focus onto the future, but unconsciously, a lot of the time, I believe that our focus is on the past. This is the place that robs you of your ability to experience high levels of gratitude, is when you're too focused on what's going on in the past, right? So here's the place that you actually want to be, okay? This is how you balance it. You don't want to focus on the future. You want to set an intention for the future. And I did this perfectly last year when I think about it. Last year I had a theme for the year. When somebody asked me, they said, like, what do you want your theme for the year to be? You know, what's one word that would describe your theme for the year? And by the way, drop it in the chat. If you know what your theme for the year should be as one word, drop that in the chat as well. So I got asked, what's my theme for the year? And back then I had no real business apart from just a couple of sales that I'd made direct, and I was doing all the work. I didn't have much of a system. I didn't really have an offer. I didn't have anything apart from a dream, right? And I basically said that now that I've been able to get results for myself, what I want to do this year is I want to focus on one thing, and that one thing is duplication. Duplication. I knew that I could get results for myself, but I wanted to prove to myself that I could get results for another person the same that I've got for myself. Funnily enough, I completely forgot what my theme was for the entire year after that first month. Completely forgot. I set it to the side. And this is actually one of the keys when it comes to manifestation. If you are placing too much importance on something in your life, what will happen is that you will resist it and you will push it further away from you. So things like right now, if you are placing importance on things like sales, if you are placing importance on money, what you're doing is that you are idolizing that particular thing. And if you remember, again, going back to the scriptures, going back to what it says in these texts, one of the things which is sinful in pretty much all of them is idolatry, the worship of idols. So you are idolizing money, you are idolizing your sales and things like this. You're placing importance on that. Why did I succeed last year in terms of duplication? Because I wanted it, but I just put it to a side. And I focused on my work. Come to the end of the year, January, and I'm being asked the exact same question. What's my focus for this year, 2025? And I'm like, oh my God, I had a focus for last year, a theme. and it was duplication. This year, my theme is going to be domination, the next D. And again, I'm going to place it to the back in terms of importance. Because what I know is that when I place something in a position of which I'm not giving it too much importance, it's going to magnetize into my life. It's going to attract into my life. Domination is this year. Last year it was duplication. What did I experience? Crazy levels of duplication, to the point where my mentor brought me onto a call and said, this has to stop. He literally told me that I see what you're doing and I don't like it. I don't like how much duplication that you've got in your business right now. I need you to put in some direct sales. This is what happens, right? So, taking a look at some of these comments. Okay, people have got something talking about Ronald. I'm not sure who Ronald is. Karen is out of my life. I'm not sure who these people are, I'm not going to lie. Expansion is my theme by Tasha. Amazing. Acceptance by Alex. Growth by Yasmin. Love it. Consistency, Rebecca. Love it, love it. Have a theme for the year. Powerful stuff. Going back to focus, okay? So you don't want to focus on the future. You want to set an intention for the future. And you want to focus on the present moment. What do you feel right now? Don't rob yourself of the gift that is the present. I robbed that line from Kung Fu Panda. If you've seen the movie, then you know. The gift is in the present. What does he say? Something like, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Kung Fu Panda, that's where I get these bars from. So that's one area we can focus. Past, present, future. Another area we can focus is, are you more focused on what you have in your life, or are you more focused on what you don't have and what is missing in your life? Drop it in the chat. What are you more focused on right now? What you have or what you don't have? Aisha's saying what you have. Okay. Alex is saying don't. I know who these people are right now. Karen and Ronald and all these people. It's your chimps, isn't it? I know. Mine is Adam. That's mine. Leanne, focus on what you don't have. Benjamin, what you have. Tasha, what you have. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is honestly focuses on what we don't have. Yeah, so this is an interesting one, because a lot of people will say that it's better to focus on one or the other, but the truth is that highly successful people will actually spend a lot of time focusing on what they don't have. And what this does is it creates a gap. It's one of the reasons for why you're all here. You wouldn't be here if you had everything that you wanted. You wouldn't be here if you didn't put a focus on what you didn't have. So that creates a gap, which you can then close. But actually becoming successful is about no longer focusing on the gap, but focusing on what you have right now in this moment. Elevating to a level of gratitude. Rebecca, I'm more focused on where I want to be and where I'm going. This is, again, focusing on what you don't have and focusing on the future. Right now my phone is about to die, and I don't think anybody wants to cut it short, because I've been on fire today. I've been doing my gratitude. This is the impact of that. So I'm gonna have to hold my phone, so bear with me if it's gonna be moving around a little bit. But do we have a little bit more time as well? I know that it's got to the hour mark. I haven't really shared many updates on the company. Just more so been getting into my flow. It's not a distraction, it's service. But do we have more time? Can we jump on for another 15, 20 minutes or so, or however long that this transfer is gonna continue on for? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, focus. Let me focus. You can focus on what you don't have, what you have. You can focus on the past or the future. You can focus on yourself or other people. Which one are you more focused on? Yourself or other people? Alex is saying flow, stay engaged. Super Saiyan. That's it. We've gone Super Saiyan. Everybody's got time. Beautiful. Leanne's saying yourself. Okay, interesting. Leanne's more focused on herself. Tasha's saying myself. Interesting. Ben saying himself. Okay. Yasmin, other people, definitely. Okay, that's an honest answer. Yeah. Rebecca, myself. So again, it's not one of those things where there's a right or wrong here. It's more about what you are actually going to do with the focus. So if you focus on yourself, just understand that there is a cost to that. But there's also value that you gain too. And the value that you gain by focusing on yourself is that you will grow personally more than you ever could by focusing on other people. But when you focus on other people, then you're going to notice that your personal why is going to change drastically in terms of how much you care. So you're becoming more so from a selfless place and you care more. So what I'd say is that all of you have had selfless intent by what I've heard about the reasons for why you're here. Rebecca, I know you're doing it for your daughter. Tasha, I know you're doing it for your daughter. Ben, I know you're doing it because you want to spend more time with your family. Yasmin, I know you're doing it for your daughter. Alex, I know you're doing it for your twins. You all have selfless intent. Jonathan, I know you got selfless intent. No worries, man. All love. Thanks for hopping on. And we'll talk real soon as well. I'll give you some good updates. So the focus that you have, if it's on yourself, like there can be benefits there, but if it's on other people, there can be benefits there as well in terms of your care. What I'd be saying for you right now, most of the people in the group chat, is that unless you're serving a community and an audience in that particular dynamic, you want to be focused on yourself. And the reason why is because there's certain levels of consciousness, levels to the game that you have to operate through in order to ascend to the highest level. That's what we all want. We all want to be playing at the highest level. If you want to be an investor, which is the 4th level in the cash flow quadrant, then you want to operate at the highest level, which is the 4th level, right? But just understand that you can't just become an investor, but if in every other area of your life, you're operating from the lowest levels. You can't be an investor and be operating from a level of victim consciousness. It just will not work. It won't happen. Period. You won't be a successful investor. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you're operating from these higher levels of consciousness. So what are the 4 levels of consciousness? Number 1 level is what we call the 2-me level. This is the victim state of consciousness. Most of the world operates in the 2-me level because we're taught to blame other people. We're taught to not take ownership, responsibility. And it's almost as if whoever blames the most amount of people is admired the most. They get given the biggest trophies. So that's the to me level of consciousness, that victim state. The next level of consciousness is the by me level. The by me level is where you are now taking ownership and responsibility for your results and your success in your life. It's a lot more selfish. Both these levels are actually quite selfish. And then the third level is where you start to go more selfless. This is what we call the through me level of consciousness. Right now, I am operating through the through me level of consciousness because my intention when I came into this call was simply service. And I surrendered my vessel to a higher power that is literally just saying, this is the message that needs to be delivered. And it's just being channeled through me. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. It's just being channeled through me. That's the through me level of consciousness. So if you're focusing on other people when you're in an environment where you need to be delivering a message, teaching, coaching, speaking, through me level of consciousness is a helpful level to step into. The highest level is what we call the as me. It's like the Christ consciousness, the level of which you attain the God state. This is where everybody really wants to be operating from. But you can't be operating from that level when you're still working in a job and like you're needing to pay your bills and focus on you right now. So what I'd be saying is, for most people here on the call, you want to be focused on these lower levels of the by me level is the main one you want to focus on, and recognize that sometimes you'll descend into the to me level. Okay? And it doesn't help really whatsoever, apart from giving you awareness as to what you want to change in your life. So that's why we can be grateful for the to me level. Because then if I descend to that level, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know that that's not what my heart desires. And I got to make a change. So, focus. We know that we've got to change our focus so that we're able to go ahead and actually get more of what we want in our lives. I'm just a little bit conscious of time, and honestly, there's so much that I can touch on just on these particular topics. I have got some updates that I'm meaning to share as well. So maybe next time I can share the updates and then I can get into the flow. But then you wouldn't really stay for the entire call, would you? So yeah, updates. I mean, we got James that's just come on right now, who has been, again, working super hard this week and being able to help you guys get your sales. He's got a couple of good people who were coming on board. He's got a guy called Sunny, who I think Alex and Steven met. And yeah, like a really amazing, incredible human being. Again, I look at the level of caliber of some of the people coming through and I'm like, yeah, this is our energy that's attracting these people. This is the conversation that I was having with Ben as well, just before this call. Is I was saying to Ben that one of the reasons as to why we had such a influx of success during June until November was because we just came back from an Enagic event. And you guys haven't been to one of these Enagic events. And one of the things I'm going to say to you all right now is that you want to make events that you have opportunities to go to in the year. You want to make them non-negotiable. Every single one. Right now I can tell you that there's 2 events that are happening that I know about, but I guarantee you there's going to be more. They just end up coming up. One of them is going to be in Tenerife next month. And to get to Tenerife, I mean, it costs barely anything. It's like £15 or something like that. No reason for why a person can't get a flight. Then you got to worry about the ticket. I'm going to tell you something that I really shouldn't tell you. Last year, for the Waves of Impact event, I basically said to Daryl, I said to one of his friends as well, that I'm going to this event. And the tickets are pretty much sold out. So you can't even buy a ticket. But come with me to the event and I will get you in because I know people. Lo and behold, we get to the event and Daryl's like, dude, I'm just going to stay at home. I'm going to stay in the Airbnb. I'm not going to go, like, just leave it. don't push me to this. I'm like, no, you're coming with me. I drag him into the car, him and his friend. And lo and behold, both of them get into the event. Just walk straight through the doors as if nothing happened. Why? Because I believe that when God opens doors for us, he makes it easy. And whatever door that God opens for us, no man can close. Impossible. So look at it this way. Do you really believe right now that it is written for you, that your destiny is to be one of the most successful people in Enagic? Do you believe that that is part of your destiny? Because if you're here with me, like I see Leanne's saying in the chat, you're a true leader. I am. I'm one of the greatest of all times. You guys just haven't seen it yet. I see it in my vision. That's one of my affirmations as well. I'm one of the greatest of all times. I am the greatest of all time in Enagic. That's my affirmation. And I'm so happy and grateful right now that I am that person right now. It's just the results are catching up. So you guys have won the jackpot. Because not only have you connected with one of the best, or not, let me say that differently. You've connected with the best company in the world, Enagic, as your affiliation company. And not only that, but you've connected with the best agency in the world for doing sales and marketing for Enagic distributors. And not only that, but you've connected with the best leader in Enagic. Can I say any more? Can I say anything more? How you guys have truly hit the jackpot. So whether or not you want to be one of the best and experience all the benefits that come with it, because what I was saying to Natasha earlier this week is that the game in Enagic is simple. A lot of people look at it in a messed up way because they're looking at it backwards. It is not a compensation plan, right, that Enagic have. What it really is it is a personal growth plan attached to a compensation plan. It's a personal growth plan where you get compensated for how much you grow. And so if you have any intention to grow in your life and to become the actualized version of yourself, why wouldn't you aim for the highest levels of success within Enagic? It doesn't make any sense to me. You've won. You already unlocked the compensation plan. Now all you got to do is grow. Grow as a person. Grow into your leadership. That's all you got to do. So again, going back to what you need to do for this year is that you need to make it non-negotiable to go to these Enagic events, to go to these events that are being hosted by these leaders. Leanne, it's not a can, you are coming with me. It is already done. Already done. You're there. Change the language. Tenerife. Make it happen. Not long left to it. Get the flight. Don't care what you got to do. Beg, borrow, or steal. Get yourself to Tenerife. Change my life. The last one. This one's going to be epic. Next Enagic event is going to be in LA. Buy your ticket. It's only $100. Not saying you got to buy it right now. Okay. Buy your ticket. You've got till June. And what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying this is because off the back of pretty much every event that I've ever been to, I always had my best results. I remember the first ever event that I went to about 4 or 5 years ago. And before then, I'd never even picked up the phone to close a person in any business. But after the back of that event, they gave me a script. They taught me in a workshop exactly how to get on the phone and close a person. What did I do? Because I'm a great student, I implemented that shit on my first lead as soon as I get back home. Never practiced it before, apart from at that event. But simply because of how electrified I was, how inspired I was, and how I felt afterwards to just go and implement all this that had been given to me, I went back home, picked up the phone, and I sounded like freaking Jordan Belfort on the phone, is how I felt. I might not have sounded like him, but I felt like that. And the other person could tell that I was terrible at sales. But it was my energy. There was something about my presence and my energy that just attracted him in that moment, and he decided to buy. That was my first ever event. I remember another event that I went to. Obviously, one of the most recent ones was Okinawa, Japan, the Enagic event. We came off the back of this event. And obviously, just after then, we brought people through like Josie and Ben. And again, like, I had no sales in my business. I had nothing. Not a single done for you case study result or anything like that. All I had was so much energy and passion and love in my heart for this business, because what I'd seen it done for everybody else at this Enagic event. My business exploded after this. And one of the secrets that they talk about in network marketing as an industry is that the game is so simple. Here's the game for you in network marketing. All you've got to do is attend your first conference, your first event that there is. That's the first thing that you got to do. And once you attend, you got to look around the room and you got to see who's there. You got to be observant. You got to notice. And what you're going to notice is there are going to be hundreds, if not thousands of people at that event. But here's the truth. At the next event, what will happen is that only half of those people will make it to the next event, because most of them will give up. Most of them will throw in the towel. Most of them will say that it's too difficult. Most of them will get distracted. Most of them will get shiny object syndrome. So instead, what you've got to do is you've got to be one of the half of the people that makes it to the next one. And you've got to keep doing this, because every event that's going to happen, that first group of people will go from a half to a quarter, from a quarter to an eighth, from an eighth to a 16th. And you've got to make sure that you stay the course for as long as possible. You become what they call the last man standing. Man, I've become the last man standing. When I look back and I see the first ever event that I went to, and there's a picture, there's like Balaj that's in the middle, there's the people that were in this group that we all took a group picture with, about 20 odd people. And I look at that picture right now. You can go into my Facebook and you can see it's one of my oldest pictures that I have in a group. I look onto that picture now and I'm like, that person's gone, 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 that person's gone. My upline, she's gone. And there's just me. I'm the last man standing. That's the game. But you can't become the last man standing if you weren't even involved in the beginning. Okay? So you have to make that commitment. When are you going to really play the game? When are you really going to go all in and start to actually experience the best results that are here, available to us all, right here, right now, in this present moment? I can see people are throwing in some comments. I just completely ignored them because I went on my riff. Alex is saying, I'm going to need more mics. Yeah, I'm going to need more mics. I'm going to smash this one on the call. Yasmin, we are the best. Exactly. That is the mantra. We are number one. Don't forget it. We've already won. We're number one. Leanne, love your energy. Thank you. I love your energy as well. Can I come to Tenerife with you? I already said yes. Yasmin, I'm coming to Tenerife. Yes. I'm coming to LA. Yes. And all those people are healthy because of the product as well. Yeah. Yeah. The product, honestly, with Enagic, it's like, for me now, yes, it's a necessity in my life, and I'm so grateful and thankful for experiencing the benefits of Kangen water, but everything else that this business has given me, I mean, literally my dreams, truly. Like, I met somebody when I was out playing basketball yesterday, and she asked me, she's like, oh, what do you do? And all this stuff. And I told her, like, oh yeah, I just My response was actually, I'm just living my dreams. What do you do? And that caught her attention. She was literally like, what? You just living your dreams? What do you mean? That's weird. I just want to become an optometrist. And my answer, my response, shook her so much to her core that the next day she came back and she was like, I don't think I want to be an optometrist. Like, my dreams, I forgot about my dreams. It was so funny. This is what Enagic has given me. This is what SBE has given me. This is what I've given to myself. And I'm so thankful to my previous version of myself, my higher self. This is the level that you want to get to. I was doing a meditation earlier on today. And the meditation is about connecting with your higher self so that you're able to derive messages and get that intuition from your higher self. So the message that I actually received from my higher self this morning was, thank you. Thank you because you are doing the work right now. Thank you because I'm living this life because of you right now. That's one of the first times I've ever heard that message from my higher self. Usually it's like, go do this, keep going, you're on the right track, whatever. This time it's like, thank you. This is what you want to do as well. You want to be thanking yourself for your previous and thank yourself for what you're doing right now. Because you're doing the work. You're all here. So, yeah, events are coming up. I've got some amazing people in Enagic that I'm connected with as friends. But, yeah, like, and I was saying this to Ben earlier on before, I'm always the guy that's giving people favors. I'm always the guy that's like offering mad amounts of value, sharing my time, sharing my wisdom to other communities and stuff like that. But you know what? I thought 2025, this is the year where we return the favor. This is the year where people come to us and they deliver value into our community so that we can nurture our leaders and actually help people grow. Man, my voice is actually going now. James is saying, gotta go, but we need this mo. Well, you got it. That's who's here. So, take care, James. Thanks for jumping on. 2025, we're calling in alliances. That's what's about to happen. There's a game, a board game that I'm going to play with all of you when we're in Tenerife. I'm going to buy the board game. It's called Risk. One of my favorite games. We play it as a family. And the whole premise of the game, if you haven't played it before, is about world domination. My favorite game. You have to dominate the entire world against other people. And the only real way that you can win the game in something like Risk is by making alliances with other people. If you look at in history, when people have won wars and won battles, it's because they made alliances with other people. Right now, I haven't really truly made an alliance, but I have really good relationships with high-level people that we can have alliances with in SBE. It's going to change the game in terms of the value that we're going to bring to this community. People will walk into this community, they'll watch the previous live videos that we've had with other leaders, and they'll be like, wow, I've already won. Because I've gained so much value just in being able to watch the previous live videos. Even if I didn't get any sales, like, I've already won. So I'm going to be calling in some leaders. I'm going to be calling in some big dogs, some queens, some kings. We're going to come out here and absolutely blow your minds when it comes to the value that they're going to share in terms of Enagic, business, mindset, wisdom. Like, I mean, Alex has made friends with one of my friends who I'm going to call in at some point. His name is Jason. And oh my God, this guy, when he comes out, you think I'm getting you fired up. This guy will fully set you all on fire to the point where you will be running around your house for hours to come and you'll be like, why am I still moving? Half an hour after the call. This is crazy. So I've got some amazing people to bring in that are going to set this community on fire. We've also got, in terms of our sales, right? We've got a couple of people, like I mentioned, that James has brought through this week. They're about to come on board. Daryl is working with some people that's about to come on board. There's Luke, who's going through some amazing sales training when it comes to his stuff that he's doing with Jeremy Miner. He's actually bought a coach in sales, Anthony, he's getting back in the game as well and going all in. They're going to be recruiting some more closers coming on board as well. So things are looking really positive on the sales side. But I'm just so excited for 2025, man. 2025 is the year. We're only just beginning and we're already ahead. Look at it that way. We've already got a head start. And we're moving forwards in the right direction. So why is 2025 going to be such a great year? It's because, again, it's the year of completion, numerology, and things like that. I don't discount that. But also, 2025 is going to be such a great year because this is going to be the year where technology goes to a whole different level. AI is going to go to a whole different level. Last year, I was looking into things like how you can, make calls using AI, and I put a video out where I said that when we start using AI in our sales process, we are going to be at the precipice. This is why I was saying earlier on in the call, you guys are going to get to experience technology as some of the first ever in the world. So our calling software right now, it's called Alloy, okay? And they're one of the number one calling softwares in the world. And what they do right now is, they allow us to track all the calls, listen to everybody's calls and things like this. But what they're working on, and what they've already given us access to, because I spoke with the account manager yesterday, and she basically said that we already have access to an AI that if we start using it right now, what it will do, when a lead comes through on the lead list, it will literally sell our offer to that lead so that they'll want to book an appointment. And it will act like a human, so much so that the person coming through won't be able to tell the difference between a human and the AI through text messages. That technology is already here. We have that. We can start using that right now. We just need to train the bot and make it understand our unique offer and how it all works, which is going to be very simple because we have that account manager who's going to help us. But this is what I got really excited about. Last year I put out this video and I basically said that in the future what's going to happen is that sales calls will no longer be done by human beings. Sales calls will be done by AI. That technology is here right now. And Alloware are currently using that technology on other clients to bring them on board, and it's working. They already have it, they've tested it. Now, if you've seen some of these demos before in the past, last year where they were showing, sales calls done by AI, this was the prototypes where it wasn't really working that well. There were pauses involved and things like this. But the account manager was saying that she was absolutely blown away by how real and lifelike the AI was, because when she was interrupting it, asking questions, making it difficult, the AI didn't get phased and it didn't wait. It went straight in with the response almost instantaneously. And she was mind blown. They're using this right now. So I asked her, when is this available to us? When do you think it might be? Drop it in the chat. I ain't got any engagement in a little bit of a while. When do you think that type of software is going to be ready for us to use as a company, where AI is going to be able to do all the conversation up to a certain degree? When do you think that technology is going to be available to us? Aisha's saying March, Leanne's saying now, Yasmin's saying it's already here. You guys are very optimistic, very optimistic. This is what she said. She said they're in the beta right now, they're just packaging it, making it into a product. And she basically said that AI will either be released to us by the end of this month or the end of the quarter, which could be 10 days, or a couple of months at the max. We already have all the leads integrated in there. All we're going to need to do is train that shit up, and then it's game over. And one of the reasons why I'm like, wow, what we're doing is actually so unique and different to every other community in Enagic right now is because I know. I've seen the other systems and how the funnels work. Everybody else, when they generate a lead, they either go for an Instagram username or they go for a email that they can go and email. What do we do different? We call people. We get people phone numbers, mobile numbers. Right now, we have over 6,000, 7,000 phone numbers ready to be phoned by AI. And the crazy thing about AI as well is that it's not limited to just being in one conversation. When I turn on the button and the AI starts working, it can speak to 6,000 people all at once if it wanted to. If 6,000 people answered the phone, the AI would be having 6,000 conversations all at once. You see what I'm talking about? Like, this is huge. This is a massive breakthrough that we're about to go through, which is why I'm fired up. You guys should be fired up, and you want to be truly getting into different levels of gratitude so that when this opportunity comes, we're going to take it by the balls. We're going to get like 20 sales in a weekend. It's going to explode. And this is what I'm proclaiming right now. We are going to go to a level that is unfathomable. Nothing that we've experienced in the past. And in order to experience that now in the future, what we'll need to do is we'll need to celebrate already as if it is already done. Because it is. In a different universe, different multiverse, we're just tuning in to that reality right now. Guys, I know I've gone on for a while on this episode of Mo's Flow. It's probably what I should call it. But I think it was needed. I think it was needed to give everybody that just a little bit of a wake-up call as to where we're at right now and how lucky that we are to be in the position that we're truly in currently. Because this is not normal. This is not normal. Go and speak to anybody else and ask them, do you have a community? Do you have an amazing water ionizer? Do you have great health technology in your life? Do you have people who are family that you can call? Do you have an amazing mentor and leader who's taking you into a certain direction? Do you have personal growth that you're working on in your life? Most people say no. We are the winners. We are the lucky ones. Perna, you're a little bit too late. You're going to have to watch the replay because I'm ending things right now. But I just want to say to everybody, like, really, I am super, super grateful for every single one of you, because I've really seen the amount that you've been attempting to implement the things that I'm actually sharing on these calls. And it makes me want to actually show up the next week and give you more. Like, think about it this way. This is the worst that I'm ever going to be on these lives. And you're going to have me for the next year. Heck, you're going to have me for the next 10 years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm the last man standing. So, I just want to say, yeah, massive, massive gratitude for all of the growth that I'm seeing you going through, the energy that you're raising, the levels that you're reaching, that's allowing this community to expand into the stratosphere. And I thank you for also the growth that you're going to be going through over the next few weeks and months as well. That is truly inevitable. That will allow for the newest members to come in and feel like, wow, we have hit the jackpot. Because we've not only got a Mo, we've also got like 20 other inspiring leaders who transformed themselves just by showing up every single week, tuning into these calls and implementing what they need to do in their own work. So Yasmin saying, give us more, please. You're gonna have to wait now. Next week is coming. But yeah, the more that it's been taken off of my hands, this is another beautiful thing that I'll share too, just before I wrap up. Because of the amount of ownership that the sales team have been taking, I've been able to trust them a lot more, even though they might not necessarily have generated as many sales as I've done or anything like that yet, but it's coming because they're a group and I'm just one person. I've been able to trust them a lot more to do what's required, right? But what that's allowed me to do is to step into a new role as the mentor, as the leader, as the visionary, as the founder, as the king, right? Like, this is what it's allowing me to actually do. So you're going to notice that my presence on social media will become what they call omnipresence. That means being everywhere all at once. You are not going to be able to not see my face. And what I want it to be is that you want to be digesting as much as you possibly can of this message that's coming through me, because look at it like this again, your price of success could simply be hours in proximity to me. What if your price of success was just that? Hours in proximity to me. And I'm not saying that from an egotistical standpoint, like, oh yeah, like I'm the answer to everybody's problems and that's it. No, I'm actually saying that because that was my formula for success, was hours in proximity to the people who had the results that I wanted for myself. That was all it was. I taught this to Anthony, right? I taught this to Luke. And what did they do? They literally followed me around the world at 19 years old. Haven't worked in a job since. Proximity is power. And at first, that proximity could just be in these little calls and groups that conversations that we're having here. But when the time comes, any opportunity that you have to be in proximity with me physically, take it. Take it. Because you ain't going to get it for free forever. And I'm not saying so there's going to be a monetary price, but eventually it will be, you're going to make a certain amount of sales to jump on calls with Mo each month, otherwise you're not coming. You're going to do a certain amount of gratitude and be in a certain level of energy and vibration to jump on calls with me, otherwise you ain't coming. Even right now, I have a leaders club currently where I chose my leaders based off of what I saw in terms of their efforts and contribution to SBE. And every single week, they are getting value from me, which is, if you think this is good, the leaders club calls a next level, right? And they're getting value from me that is a lot more personal, a lot more related to their situation and what's going on, and it's creating more transformation, and I'm seeing the growth unfolding for them every single week. And if you want access to that, you're going to have to show up at a different level. Simple. If you want to ask me as well in a personal, private WhatsApp group, like, what can I do to get into the Leaders Club? That's a great question to ask. And I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. I want as many people into that Leaders Club as possible, ideally. So like I'm saying, in the future, access to me, yeah, people ain't going to get it. This is why I'm saying, like, this offer is not going to be on forever. This offer of just getting live calls free from Mo forever, like, this is going to be, that's not going to be a thing. This is a temporary thing where people are going to be getting this value from me. Because eventually, I'm going to be only providing it to the people that I see that are actually showing up as the best leaders. So, with that being said, I will jump off. I could stay on here forever, like when you guys are being so engaging and when I'm in my flow and things like this, but I've already taken quite a bit of your time. So thank you everybody for jumping on, and yeah, let's go and just blow up that group chat, turn the energy up, and make everybody who wasn't on this call feel like they truly missed out just simply because of the level of energy that you're coming at that group chat with, and how you've changed as a person from this call. I love it. The Mo father. That's a good one. I'll take that. Thank you so much everyone for jumping on. Peace and love, prosperity and power, and we'll see you on the next call. Take care everyone. Bye bye.